and agree. Our family farm has been in Niangua for 60 years, and my land is there as well. At the town hall meeting last week, Mr. Overhue told us that one of the benefits to us of this project would be, quote, all of the improvements that would be made to the electrical infrastructure, end quote. My question is, if the substation can already handle the electrical requirements of the proposed project, or they wouldn't be building it, obviously that would seem to imply that if there are further improvements to the substation to be made by Lumen Solutions, that a much larger one is being contemplated and planned for. Now, I don't want it. I don't care if it's little, big. I don't want it full stop. But obviously, that statement seems to leave open the possibility in the plan that that's where they're going with this. I also have a question for Mr. Houston. After the town hall last week, I asked Mr. Overhue why he chose Webster County. Now, I expected him to say that it was because we don't have planning and zoning. Well, imagine my surprise when he said, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but it was Webster Electric who approached me. So I would ask Mr. Houston, isn't Webster Electric's policy to solicit projects like this? And if so, why were the members not consulted? I just want to say before I put this back up here, Mr. Overhue's absolutely told me that Webster Electric approached him. So I don't know what the problem is over here, but that is the answer he gave me. If he's telling you otherwise, he is not telling you the truth.
So my name is Stacy Shore. I was Stacy Nunn. I lived here my whole life. I graduated from Marshfield. My ancestors are buried all over this land. I have a lot of family that still lives here. I am from Camden County, and I was one of the authors of the ordinance. The other author is not here. He's an engineer, and when he heard what was being said the other night in the meeting, he just kept shaking his head because he does have a degree in engineering. When you are being told that they don't have options, that is not correct. There is a statute. For all of you out there, I see writing things down, write this down. It is the law in Missouri. It is 192.300. It is based on the health and welfare safety of this community. They have the authority to act that way. You guys have a bullseye on your back because they won't act. And when I say that, you need to hear this loudly. I don't know what they're doing. I don't have any idea. None of you do. Because all of this was based in secrecy. That's what happened in my county too. There is the ability. Josh Hawley. Do you know who Josh Hawley is? Josh Hawley just did a congressional hearing where he questioned RFK about the health concerns of the electromagnetic frequencies that come from data centers, about the water. There are massive studies with EMFs. There are massive concerns all over the country. It is not conjecture nor hearsay. They have the ability to sign a moratorium and an ordinance to protect you. It's the health, welfare, and safety of the children who are going to grow up here like I did. I had a lot of Webster County roots in me, and when we came with that ordinance, we came with over 400 people too. Nobody wanted it because it was secret. We didn't know the details. There were no studies. Nobody shared anything with us, but they said they would have had they gotten it through. That's what you're dealing with right now, unfortunately. So I say, with all respect to you, it doesn't matter that you're a second-class county. If you don't do something, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, all the big dogs are coming to anchor themselves right here because you guys are giving them a signal to say, sorry, nothing we can do without planning and zoning. Let me say this, one last thing. Planning and zoning All they do is give a recommendation for the commission. That's all. It's a political cover machine. You don't need planning and zoning. You have to have the courage to stand on your feet and fight and demand that you be protected from the potential safety concerns that no one fully understands yet, and to get the bullseye off your back for the mega centers not to be able to come and plant themselves here, because right now, by the commission just throwing their hands up and saying, well, there's nothing we can do, they're coming on the heels of this one, and you guys better be ready for it. So I implore you to sign an ordinance, to put a moratorium in place and protect the people of Webster County.
Now, I have two specific questions for Trent. And so at the town hall meeting, you had mentioned that you have a background with another data center about 4 years ago in Omaha, Nebraska. And so I would like to know today what the name of that center is and what the outcome of that project was. Can you address that? Can you say why you won't say what your experience is? Okay. So you have no real track record that any of us can follow with regard to your experience with building a data center. Mm-hmm. I want you to share the name of the center that you were a part of. I don't understand why that's secret knowledge. NDAs. I understand what an NDA is. All right, well that's your answer. The second question I have for you is, specifically, how do you feel this data center will benefit this community specifically?
30 seconds. So real quick, there's a few benefits to what this center would bring to Webster County. Primarily, one is going to be good jobs. We will employ about 15, hold on, let me talk. We'll have about 15 full-time employees out there. They'll all be very well-paid positions. Guys, if you want to answer, I'm trying to answer, hold on. The other is sales tax. So tax on power, there'll be a significant benefit to the regional community on the tax created off the power generator. The last one, if Missouri changes from no personal income to a service base, there will also be a very substantial amount of revenue based on the service that we provide. So there is benefits that come in the substantial amount of tax, which will benefit the community as a whole and the non-Anglo school system, which...
So, what good is benefiting a school system when you're depleting shared resources that the school system is dependent on? You're not using any water?
All right, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks.
The last meeting, the developer promised that he would give us more information. He owns one of these already and has one running in Omaha, Nebraska. So he's the person that you'd want to, Trent, over you, would be able to address that question for you. He's already got one. So would you like for him to come up and address your question, Randy?
Okay, and I don't doubt your word, but whoever she was talking about, is this true information?
Again, as I told you all along, I'm a very open book, and I'm happy to sit down and work through details. So if you need, I've been extremely busy. I've not sat down with her yet, so I will.
We need a meeting like this. I want you to read the questions I have. I want to see P's and IDs. I want to see engineering reports about the cooling system.
I'm happy to give them to you. I disagree with that.
My name is Geraldine Thomas, and I live on the
that drive just 2 miles from the data center. I live there with my husband, my 3 children, and we make use of our well water. I make my living off of the natural resources of Webster County. I am a plant nursery owner and I raise livestock. I read that the developers' specifications on the data center that was printed on the Marshfield Mail May 6th. And although these sound like nice assurances, they are just the developer's words. It's not an independent study, it's not a DNR permit review, and these are not verified numbers. I appreciate the developer and Webster Electric coming up here and giving us information, but we would like legal documentation and independent studies on their claims. Camden County passed a specific data center operations ordinance on April 24th with strict rules on noise, water, generators, and setbacks without the full zoning. So the size of our county should not matter as far as a standalone ordinance to protect our natural resources. So we also have already a legal tool under RSMO 192-300 to protect public health from noise, air quality, and water impacts. So today I respectfully ask the Commission to take 3 clear steps. First, to pass an immediate 6 to 12 month moratorium on data centers and large-scale industrial projects. 2, to direct staff to adopt a standalone data center ordinance modeled after the Camden counties, and 3, to require the developer and Webster Electric Cooperative to provide independent written studies on water use, generator emissions, actual noise, modeling, for me 2 miles, but please more, and the rate impacts to customers. Also, if you could please make them file DNR stormwater and wastewater permits applications publicly so that the county residents like us can submit official comments. Please act today to protect the rural neighborhoods and families that live here. Thank you. And I guess if I can have a question, my question would be, would you guys make use of the public health ordinance 192-300 in order to protect public health?
Good morning. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you, Mr. Fraker, for remaining calm and addressing questions. My name is Jim Coyle. From my great-grandparents to my grandchildren have lived in Webster County. I spent 18 years at USA Today. I currently work for the Department of Elections in Virginia for the last 7 years. I have 2.5 decades of working in data centers, remodeling data centers, moving data centers. Prior to that, I was a nuclear mechanic on submarines. I have more than casual knowledge of thermodynamics, heat transfer, and fluid flow. My concern is with a closed loop system, there's very little water usage. I agree with that. Where does the heat go? You take all of that heat from 10 megawatts, you have a 10 megawatt water heater, and you are pushing 10 megawatts of heat into the ground continuously. What does all of that heat do to the flora, the bacteria, everything that's living in our water system that we all depend on?
Let's make a comment real quick, Jimmy. I appreciate your comments. And you and I, we went to school together, we know each other, so I know things that you tell me or tell us, I know it's your expertise. I would like really for you to visit with us and teach us to inform us some of this information. Not necessarily, I mean, I know we're all here about the one on Rifle Range Road, but what could possibly be coming here in the future that none of us know about? And that's good information to have, and I do appreciate that very much.
And I helped build the USS Nebraska. And a $2 billion submarine nuclear power plant has leaks. Closed loop systems, over time, you will have leaks. We do need monitoring.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Trent said air handlers, so that the heat will be dissipated through air handlers. Dry coolers, that's noise, that's vibrations. I've seen data centers where they vibrated the foundation so much, worms would not come within 20 feet of it. It killed all of the grass around the data center from all of the vibration. It was a poorly built data center, but vibration and heat, you have to get rid of both. If you are getting rid of heat, you are moving energy. In order to move energy, you're creating vibrations. Heat has to go somewhere. It's either going into the ground or going into the air. So it's going into the air. Okay? Fans create noise, a lot of noise. A commercial HVAC unit isn't removing 10 megawatts of power. 10 megawatts of heat. And startups don't start at 100%. They ramp up. This is just the beginning.
Guys, hang on to this minute. We're going to get close on time with the school. We want to give everybody an
Thank
opportunity.
you.
Jimmy, thank you. These guys will be available to answer questions.